intended, gigantic game for both teams, especially the Eagles. How confident are the Birds right now and the teammates in Carson Wentz?
Good morning, Zubin. Good morning, Key. Good morning, Jay Will. I would say they are cautiously optimistic that he will be able to turn it around. Now, they've had, the entire bye week to examine the problems of Carson Wentz, and they're big. We're not going to sugarcoat it. They are big. And when you do that kind of examination, as I did, as a lot of reporters, a lot of coaches, obviously in NovaCare, you're looking at the film, you're looking at the tendencies, and you're trying to find out, okay, what's gone wrong with this guy? 16 turnovers, 12 interceptions, leads the league in turnovers. And specifically, you look at three things. You look at film, you do a little statistical analysis, and then you rely on human intelligence. It's three parts. So let's take it in part one. It's pretty clear that he has problems with zone coverage. 8 out of his 12 interceptions have come in zone coverage. What does that mean, Key? That means he is not manipulating anybody with his eyes. He's locking on receivers, right? Because if you're playing zone coverage in the secondary, you're watching the quarterback's eyes. Am I correct about that?
100%.
Sal, can I just tell you, I love when you ask Sal, when you ask Key a question, but then you answer it and Key's about to talk. It makes me laugh. Thank you. Continue to do that throughout the course of the show. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, because I want to rely on Key. Key and I have had a long history together, and I love his analysis of the game. It's always spot on. So, I need a little confirmation from him. So the secondary is locking on Carson Wentz's eyes, which means what? Ipso facto, he is locking on receivers. His eye manipulation of the secondary is not very good. So he needs to do a better job with his eye manipulation and not locking on receivers. Now, again, when you have zone coverage, there are going to be voids in the zone. That means guys are open. So I called up Evan Kaplan, our guy, our guru for NFL stats and information. I said, what does Next Gen Stats have on Carson Wentz throwing to open receivers? And he said, Sal Pal, Next Gen Stats says that Carson Wentz has the second lowest completion percentage in the NFL right now throwing to open receivers. Wow. Only Drew Lock is worse. Oh. Now, if you be quiet for a second, you can hear the cars going off the road right now on Schuylkill Expressway because they're listening to this show, and I just compared Carson Wentz to Drew Lock. Now, nothing against Drew Lock. He's a nice young man. But Carson Wentz is a franchise quarterback with $128 million in his pocket, and he should not be compared to Drew Lock in any category. But that's really bad, right? He's missing open receivers, and he is locking on guys. And that is a big problem.
Let me ask you this before we let you get out of here, Sal. Now, you obviously know Doug Peterson more than anybody. I mean, period. And you also know Brett Favre. Those comments by Brett Favre, did he get, and you know how this thing goes, you're buddies they play with each other, they kind of know each other, they're quarterbacks. Maybe Doug is having a conversation with Brett about Carson versus Nick Foles, and Brett takes that Nick Foles conversation and moves it to his radio, and now all of a sudden it becomes a national story. Is there anything there at all?
Key, you know I love you. You know I respect you. I respect the question. And the answer is absolutely no way. No. And you're right. Publicly and privately, I know exactly what Doug Peterson is thinking about this. He is totally 100% behind Carson Wentz. It's no question about it. Brett Favre was talking on his own, and I got to tell you, it caused a lot of agita in the Peterson household. There's no question, because you knew that people were going to draw that conclusion, because nobody is closer as player in his playing career than Brett Favre was to Doug Peterson. They're buds. The night before the Super Bowl, in the Radisson Hotel in Minneapolis, Who did Doug Peterson ask to come in and speak to the team? Brett Favre. So they're very, very close. Favre addressed the team. Favre addressed Nick Foles the night before the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz was sitting right there. So you know they're super close. But I'm telling you flat out, that was just Brett being Brett. It had nothing to do with what Doug said.
All right.
Very interesting. We should note for those that are not aware that Doug Peterson spent 2 stints in Green Bay as the backup to Brett Favre. So that's why the relationship is so close. That's Sal Palantonio on the Schuylkill, weather and traffic on the 10s. Thank you, Sal.